It's the cameras. They throw me off.
Hello and welcome to episode blah 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 for
You've
the love of
stolen my line.
podcasts. Yeah, I know, I'm reading your line for you.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of For the Love of Podcasts. He's Ethan Morton.
And he's Rory Stock, and we'll be bringing you the latest news and reviews from Big Finish's Doctor Who range.
For as long as we can afford it anyway. You may notice something different about this month's episode, and that's the fact that we're not cartoons. Ethan, I can see you.
I know I can see you as well. What's going on?
This is surreal. So it's a very busy month, and I'm editing all of these solo, and I have ADHD, so I tend to put it all off, which is why we're always a month behind. I still need to finish April's podcast. So because it's a busy month, ain't no way in hell I'm going to get the podcast out in time. So we're doing something a bit different, going face cam this time to make things look a bit more interesting. And we're going to do some very minimal editing for this month's video. Just going to take it nice and easy and have a grand old time, you know?
Sounds good.
Plus, this month we have some very interesting stuff to show off because... Oh, we might as well just get straight into it, right?
Yes. Do you want to start or shall I?
Well, I'll quickly explain where we've been, and then you can show off some of the stuff that you got. So, me and Ethan, we like to do the convention circuit whenever available. And one that I've been going to since like 2022 for various reasons is Portsmouth Comic Con. That's sort of like the best local con. So we went to this year's as I tend to do. I don't usually go with Ethan, but I invited him. He was more than happy to join up with me because at this convention there were two guests that we were, well, three guests for Ethan. But the ones that I was interested in and the biggest ones there were Gemma Redgrave and Anita Dobson. And then Ethan, you were, who was the other one you were very interested in?
Julian Glover. And yeah.
Yeah, the guy who played Scaroff, yes?
Yes, from City of Death, the best story.
Yeah, well, yeah, Ethan has this love for that story. Literally, work it into everything.
I'm sure it'll come up later, so let's not let's not.
Yeah. But we got quite the haul from our little trip. So do you want to share what you got signed first?
Yes, so talking about City of Death, I got a Scaroff figure signed by Julian Glover. He was quite surprised that they even had a doll of Scaroff from City of Death. So
well, they have two because that's not the character one, is it?
No. That's true. Yeah. See, other people must love City of Death. There's lots of figures.
It is a good episode, I'll admit. It just can't help sometimes feel like Lala Ward and Tom Baker's home movie, you know, of their holiday.
Well, that's part of the joy of it, I think.
To a degree. They got some money, they went to Paris, they had a good time. And the other?
Yes, the other thing, I'll just reach it to my side. As we've said, we also saw Anita Dobson. So I got Anita Dobson picture signed from the latest story.
What did she
write on it? She wrote, to Ethan, love, Anita Dobson, XXXX, Mrs. Flood.
You're in there, mate. Lots of kisses.
She clearly doesn't want to spoil She's to Barney. She's still calling herself Mrs. Flood. So there you go.
The thing is, we saw a nice little talk with her and Gemma outside of the cathedral. No, not the cathedral, the Guild Hall. And she is an absolute dear, and I love that she keeps referring to herself as like half a Rani. It makes me laugh.
She really does like that fact, doesn't she?
She is an absolute joy. And you guys may be wondering, oh, why are you mentioning this on a Big Finish podcast? Well, guess what, mates? Hang on. Big Finish. So while Ethan was getting one of those images, one of those pictures, I like to get my own stuff sort of personalized and signed. And usually, I'll do this first actually. Usually, I have this book. And if you don't know what this is volume 1 so far of 2 volumes of my Dalek photo album, where, as you can see here, I basically I put all the pictures from events that I do with Dominic the Dalek. So this is obviously Echo's filming. Shout out to Confused Adipose. Here's an interesting one. This was Portsmouth Comic Con in 2023, where we did a whole big Doctor Who display with
Wow, yeah.
we were collabing with the curator's TARDIS, that's it, sorry, and Madame Who swords. So, oh yeah, and on the front of both books, we have a space for celebrity signatures. And if you can see down here, yep, that's Gemma Redgrave right there. And then we also have Colin Baker, who, by the way, noticed I accidentally spelt signatures wrong. And so when he signed it, he purposely spelt, I don't know where it is, celebrity wrong. Because he is just like that, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
You've also got Sophie Aldred, Paul McGann. That's one I'm really proud of. I might put some of the pictures up right now, actually, of when I meet them, because I always get autograph first, but it comes in a bundle, so I pay a little extra and I get the photo as well, and it's all very good stuff. But when it came to Anita Dobson, I was umming and ahhing because initially it didn't seem like, I wasn't that excited to meet her, but then I remembered she was in a Big Finish, like way before she was in the show. She was in my all-time favourite Big Finish, and the very first one I listened to, Blood of the Daleks. As you can see, I got her to sign it. Hang on, can't work with this perspective. Here, there we go. There. Not quite sure. I think it just reads to Rory, love Anita Dobson. 4 kisses as well. So yeah, she's absolutely lovely. She recognised it as well, like immediately. But this was sort of also spurred on by the fact that Hayley Atwell, who is also in this story and who you probably know from the MCU as Captain Carter, is going to be at a London Comic Con very, very soon. So, while everyone else is talking to her about the MCU, I'm going to get her to sign an obscure Doctor Who audio.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just excited to bring it up to her and see if she even remembers, and if she does, it might be one of those things that she's quite proud of, but no one really talks about. So, I really appreciate it, because she hasn't even been in like the show proper, has she?
No, she hasn't. No.
BBC, get on that. And might as well show off some of the other stuff that I got, because I found a white Supreme Paradigm Dalek, which I've been looking for quite a while, because the one that I did buy, in a mix-up with the post office when the delivery driver basically put it in the bin for safety, it never got picked up, the bin went, and was never seen again. So I bought another one, so I actually have one now, and it even came in the original box, so still has that 2010 mint smell. It's so nostalgic.
Didn't know 2010 had a smell.
It does. Like, everyone says, well, they do. They come in mint condition, don't they? And I don't know if you noticed, probably not. It might just be me. I smell modern figures when they've just come out of the box, and they don't quite have the same smell that they used to.
I'll be honest, I have not done that.
I could be going crazy, in fairness. I could be. But
I'll bear that in mind next time.
That's just how I see it. And another thing I got, a bit smaller, but, to celebrate. We're currently filming on May 4th, so this one is relevant somewhat. A little clone fake Lego figure of ARC Trooper Jesse from the final season of the Clone Wars. which it's fake, so you can feel it's fake, but it looks actually pretty damn good. Yeah, so that was just a £1.50, not bad. And then I got two other things, but I don't remember buying them because my lovely friend Ethan here bought them for me as a birthday present, but got it early.
Yes, a few days early. But yeah.
It's rather on brand for us, isn't it? Two big finishes. So we have Hour of the Cybermen, which I have actually listened to. I've got this on digital, but don't have it physical, so it's nice. It's going to be a nice thing to put on the shelf. And I don't know if you do this. Well, I know you do this, but people at home, reversible covers with the correct era appropriate logo. I always try to change them if it is possible. And then the other one, which I didn't have, so this one, like, at all, so this one's really good, is, what does that say? Daughter of the Gods.
Daughter of the...
There you go. So this is like, it's part full cast, little bit of narration. Really excited to listen to this one.
And it nicely ties in with the Daleks master plan, which is still very topical.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. Katarina's in this, and the blurb says that apparently she shouldn't be there. What's going on?
Wonder
there?
What should have happened to her.
Well, let's see. Also, that I know that other one had a bonus disc. Does this?
They should both be 2 discs.
Yeah. Okay. There is a
bonus. They're 4-parters.
Oh. Well, it's fallen out, but there is a bonus disc for Hour of the Cybermen. So that I only had the story. So now I've got bonus material as well. So there is new stuff in here. I'll have to get that digitized very, very soon.
I'm sure it will include an interview with David Banks, which is always good.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah. No, he was very devoted to the Cybermen, wasn't he? Wrote a book on them.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he's planning to write another one from.
Oh, really?
From the convention I went to recently.
Wow, that man he keeps giving. So yeah, that is all the convention stuff. So let's get on to our back to our usual stuff. Let's talk about some news.
What news of the Doctor?
Oh, so where shall we start? I think let's start with some New Who, and perhaps the 12th Doctor.
Yes.
So
yes.
Exciting news regarding the new John Coleshaw voiced 12th Doctor series coming in July and August.
Yes. So, the main thing I remember about this announcement is that originally we were given like the episodes and the titles, and the very last episode was called The Second Death of the Daleks or something.
Yes, yeah.
And I remember us theorizing, we thought it would be like something to do with Rusty.
Yeah, it would make sense, obviously, with the 12th Doctor era.
And he chants death to the Daleks in that story, so we were thinking, yeah, that's got to be Rusty, hasn't it? But wasn't Rusty, was it?
No, it was someone less rusty, a bit more yellow. It's the Eternity Dalek is back.
The Eternal, my favourite.
Oh yeah, yeah. Can't kill them off, can you? You just can't kill.
He's called Eternal for a reason.
Yeah, and they've sort of promised this story will explain what that entails, that its title and how it survived the 11th Doctor.
I'm very excited for this. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is the cover, and the only reason for that is because they've taken a very obvious promotional image instead of making a completely new 3D render, which they usually do, and I'm gonna have to they did do already for this story.
Yes, that still is one of the best covers we've had.
I love that cover. So if you can do this, and the model for the Eternal did exist because although the scientist and the Eternal don't appear there, I know that the artist, is it the Pridonian? That's his name, right?
Yes.
The cover itself probably made by someone else, but the renders at least were definitely. I think his name is James Johnson,
Right.
the Pridonian. So he put onto his Instagram all of the revamped Paradigm designs, if they were on the cover or not. So they do all exist. Why didn't you make a new one for the Eternal?
It's a
I'll
shame,
find you.
but I'm sure the story will make up for it.
Yes, because the story is quite interesting. The first episode is called The Second Death, and then the last episode is The Second Death of the Daleks. And if you read the descriptions for each episode, you realise that the titles aren't the only thing that are sort of connected. In fact, the description literally reads exactly the same as the first episode until it gets to the second paragraph, and it's like, hold on, this sounds familiar. Didn't we do this episode before? I'm paraphrasing a bit, but they literally use that sort of phrasing, don't they?
Yes, yeah, it's pretty much that, I think. So that somehow it's linking the very first and last story. So,
and it seems to be getting a little bit meta, at least if the description is anything to go by. So I'm very interested to see where this new story is going to take us.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some good stories in between sort of those two. I think Duty of Care, that one definitely stands out to me a lot. The synopsis seems quite interesting.
This is all set between series 9 and 10, right? Or just after the Husbands of River Song?
Just after Husbands of River Song, but before Nardole and that Missy trial.
Duty of Care was always like a thing that the 12th Doctor said he had for Clara, so I feel like there might be some tie-ins to Clara, but also the Doctor can't remember her, so I actually don't know, but that would sort of be my guess.
I don't know, yeah. But on that cover is the sort of Shadow Proclamation base, which it may come into it, I don't know.
Quite possibly, but yeah, that's interesting, because there seems to be a fair bit of Shadow Proclamation going on at the moment, isn't there, Ethan? Masterful segue.
Yeah. Where we can segue to what the latest news. I think, I would say it's the latest news from Big Finish. We've got the second box set for the 11th Doctor, Hidden in Plain Sight. And the monster for this box set is the Jadoon.
Interesting. I haven't read any of these synopses yet, but I literally saw the cover just before we started recording when I was getting the Big Finish website up for this month's releases.
Yeah.
It looks neat. It's all right. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I like how they're both sort of very different, contrasting color schemes. Like, first one's very blue, cold. This one's quite yellowy, warm. I like that.
Yeah. It seems there's going to be a two-parter for the Jadoon, and then the third story might link into where it's set in the 11th Doctor's timeline, which basically he's wiped all evidence of himself from the universe, and everyone thinks he's dead, basically.
Oh yeah,
so
he
might
would
link into that.
So he's probably already done that.
Yes,
that's interesting. Yeah, probably where that's going to go. But what do you think of the Jadoon?
I quite like them. I had a quick look to see how many Jadoon stories has Big Finish done, and I think this is only the fourth one. We haven't actually had that many when you add them up.
So they did one for Classic Doctor's New Monsters. They did one for the 8th Doctor Stranded Free. I've listened to both of those. Oh, actually, I've listened to all the Jadoon ones now, because they also did one for the third volume of 10th Doctor Adventures.
Yes, they did, yeah.
Which is pretty funny in a lot of places. You get a Jadoon cadet who just is a Jadoon, but with a higher pitched voice. And that made me laugh more than it should have. It's the simple things, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's only the fourth one, so I'm looking forward to see what Big Finish do this time.
Yeah, even though they are basically the Sontarans, except police and rhinos, I quite like them. I like
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
Chief Rhino boys.
And we've also got an announcement for the latest Ninth Doctor story, 13 O'Clock by Robert Valentine. What's your thoughts, Roy?
Would you like to start?
I can start. We're back at a very familiar location in the universe, as people keep calling it these days. It's the Powell Estate. But they have promised that this is a mid-season finale, but we'll see. We'll see if they finally move away from the Powell Estate after this and wrap up whatever their storyline with the Powell Estate. Yeah.
Big Finish. My guys. Why are you limiting yourselves with the Ninth Doctor adventures? All of time and space, we are done with the Powell Estate. We didn't spend this much time in the Powell Estate in the series. Why are we going back there again? Like, I think if we had recorded this right after the news dropped, I'm partially sort of going, oh well, it's kind of expected. But at the same time, if we'd have done it when it dropped, I would be crashing out so much harder right now. I'm sort of at acceptance, but it does feel like they're limiting creativity for no good reason, and I don't know why we keep going back there, because I'm not really seeing this storyline that you're convinced they're doing. I'm not seeing it personally. Just want to say that the only episode to not be set in the Powell Estate, which was Cloud 8, best episode of this run so far, certified home run. So why do we keep limiting ourselves?
Yeah, it is a shame in that respect. I'm just hopeful they do move on, just like you are. But yeah, it seems, and I don't know if they seem to be hinting that they're bringing back the monster from Station to Station. Have you listened to Station to Station?
Which box set is that in?
Or is it Back to Earth? Or the first one of series 2 of the Ninth Doctor Adventures?
I would guess it was the first one of series 2, because Back to Earth
Yeah.
was the very first one, wasn't it? And that was like one big story told through 3 parts.
Well, yeah, it's definitely series 2, box set 1.
Okay.
Station to Station. Again, written by Robert Valentine. So it's sort of, well, at least it's got one character from that coming back. I think they're hinting at the same monster coming back. I don't know. I haven't listened to it, but yeah.
That kind of hinders our ability to talk about that.
It does. It's like it's very weird names, sort of Gumsum Gru or something. A very silly name.
The Grimly Gru.
That's it. I think they're hinting. Could that monster come back?
Maybe.
From your experience?
I mean, I haven't watched or listened to it myself, but I watched the Mr. TARDIS reviews, and I'm familiar with the name. It's like one of those, a bit like the Jack Frost character from Into the Stars. It's one of those fantasy creatures or myths that turns out to be real, but I don't know much beyond that. It's possible, maybe. We'll have to wait to see.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to another news?
Yep.
We've got the Big Finish output for the multimedia event with the Fugitive Doctor, Circuit Breaker.
Yes, and
yeah,
I think it's worth talking about as a whole, because this is all, it all sort of got released as one big timeline, which is pretty good, because I'm sure they did release a timeline for Doomsday, but I don't remember seeing it. And I think it'd be a good idea just to talk about these media events in general. What's your thoughts?
I like the idea. Yeah, it does sort of. Many people complain that we can't get everything for it. You know, how can we understand the whole story when I don't get comics or don't get books or whatever? And for some people, they don't get Big Finish. So they criticise, Doctor Who fans criticise it for that. I do think the last one didn't interest me at all. The Doomsday one.
Mm.
That didn't interest me. And this one, as much as I like the Fugitive Doctor, and more Joe Martin is always welcome, I'm not too interested this time round either. Sadly.
That's fair. I'd say I'm on the fence with it, to be honest. I think Time Lord Victorious was the gold standard for this kind of event, just because it had so many out there different forms of media. Like you had the usual audios, novels, comics, all that stuff, but you also had a T-shirt with lore on it, which is interesting. But jokes aside, the ones that I really did gravitate towards are the Daleks animated series, which was a really nice addition, even if I personally think the animation, it looked kind of bad, and not necessarily the animation as a whole. It was more the particle effects they used, just looked wank. Didn't like that. But as an idea, it's a great. I love that, and it's the only visual sort of media that we got with that one, and that we really ever got, because usually they're like audios, novels, whatever, but this is like a proper series. So I appreciated it for that, and also it brought back the mechanoids. Hang on.
Yeah, your favourite.
Look at this custom boy.
Very good.
That's the most. I think it's very dusty, but I'm pretty sure I'd say that's the scientist for the most part from that series. But I didn't necessarily go in with the intention of making it like that. Very dusty. So yeah, I appreciated it for that. And then you also had like the escape room connected to it. The Time Lord. Oh no, that's the name of the series. The Time Fracture, which I went to twice. Did you ever go to Time Fracture?
I didn't. No.
Oh, I feel really bad for you, man. That should have stuck around much longer than it did. Honestly, I don't think there's been like, not that I've been to many of them, but I don't think there's been a better experience or show kind of like that. It's basically like a much longer, more in-depth version of the Doctor Who experience, that little segment you do before you go into the museum, with some choose your own adventure style pathways you can go down. Really fascinating. Maybe we should do, like, maybe we can branch out into Doctor Who more broadly in the future and do a video about that or something.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt like Time Lord Victorious was a lot more adventurous, and basing it around the 10th Doctor. Need I remind you of the joke I made last time? But it helped it gain traction, you know? Plus, it also had the 8th and 9th Doctors sort of very front-facing with the whole thing. Doomsday had a lot of Doctors involved, but none of them... Suze Kempener was like the face of the whole thing, and I think she did a really good job. And from what I hear, a lot of Doomsday was good, but I personally don't have the time or money to invest listening to most of it or seeing what they released, which is, I think, a shame. But true to form, Paul McGann for the first two was like the only Doctor really that got to do much in the way of audio, which is quite funny. You know, you've got to love Paul McGann. But I'd say doing one based on the Fugitive Doctor is a lot more marketable, you know, and I think that image of Joe Martin with the new costume, the different shirt and the hat, fucking slaps. I love that. Love that design. So yeah, I'll be interested in it, and I may pick up the big finishes, because I know you said about people not really wanting to catch up with the whole thing because it spans so many different types of media. That's a genuine problem. But I have listened to the Time Lord Victorious adventures from Big Finish, and aside from Echoes of Destruction, which is misleading, and just a bit rubbish. I'd say they're all really good and work standalone. Mutually Assured Destruction as well is probably the standout of the set. I really enjoyed that story. It's quite simple, but goes a long way.
Yeah, hopefully they will be quite standalone like normal. I believe these Big Finish ones are going to be will be the finale of the whole multimedia event. So that'll be interesting. It's 2 short trips and a box set, a full cast box set.
Short trip. Oh, they didn't say that. I didn't know they were going to be short trips. Ugh.
Well, on top of a box set, Roy.
Yeah, okay. But how many stories in the box set?
I don't think it said. It may be just one
How many were
2-hour story.
How many were there in the Doomsday
4.
one?
4, I think. Yeah, because they had the story set around like a prequel to Dalek's Master Plan. It always comes back to Dalek's Master Plan.
What a funny cover that was. You know, I get when people say, "Oh, Big Finish is just taking a dartboard approach to storytelling," and you know what? Fair enough. When you look at that cover and you see, okay, Suze Kempener, Eighth Doctor and Charlie, sorry, I thought there was another monster on that cover, but there wasn't, was there?
No, I think you're misremembering it a bit.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going on, but there might have been something else there. I don't know. But Doctor, Suze Kempener, mystery thing. You had Dalek's Master Plan, diplomats that no one really remembers, and Jackie Tyler.
Big Finish does.
Big Finish remembers it all. They love stories. They love content. But all that plus Jackie Tyler, you know, yeah, why not? You know, why not?
Why not?
But I'm gonna say that the Time Lord Victorious ones were really good. So I'll try. And maybe I might pick up the full cast box set when that releases.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, I'm interested.
So for Big Finish releases in May 2026, we have Rutons vs. Sontarans Rendition, the 13th Doctor Adventures Aegis, The War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light, Torchwood Farewell, Time War Uncharted 3 Branches, and finally the latest Dark Gallifrey, The Meddling Monks Part 2.
I'm very much looking forward to what we have on offer this month, because we got the War Doctor one especially. We've already talked about that in episode 1. I think I'm still planning on getting the physical, but money is very tight this month, so we're going to have to see, because it's just one thing after another in May. Just so busy. But yeah, I'm very interested in the Torchwood one as well, because I'm not completely familiar, but isn't this maybe the end of an era for... from what I've heard, it might be Gareth David Lloyd's last ever performance as Yanto.
It's definitely the last Torchwood monthly range release. But they have said there's going to be sort of an anniversary story next year for Torchwood. But after that, that might be it. That might be it for Torchwood at Big Finish.
Dang.
So, yeah.
That doesn't feel right, does it? Like...
Yeah.
Big Finish don't stop with series, do they? They just keep doing.
They don't feel like they do they? I mean, I know they have.
Well, I mean, they don't.
But
call it what you like. The Life and Death of River Song. Nah, it's Diary of River Song, mate. It just is.
Yes, yeah, that one came back. But we haven't had any news for new Torchwood, so other than this, I think it might be the end.
Well,
maybe the moment.
Has the moment been prepared for?
We'll see with this anniversary story next year and this release this month.
It definitely seems like it's going to be a special one, because this is Yanto converted as a Cyberman, or at least mostly.
I'm guessing it's going to link into Cyberwoman. Yeah.
What a horrible time to take down the shrine, because I feel like we're going to need it after this release.
Yeah, although I have heard rumours that they are thinking about relocating it somewhere.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
I think there's a plaque there now,
Is there? Oh.
commemorating it. Yeah, we should take a trip down there at some point to see it.
There's but also a lot of other Doctor Who locations down there we could see.
Yeah, no, well, that's what I mean. You don't just go see one.
I
thing.
know. No,
Is that idea we
it
had?
could be more
for
than a day trip.
Yeah, that idea we had for a Doctor Who pilgrimage, isn't it? Because it's a filming location right back from where I live.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to definitely take you up on that idea. We are going to do that one day. Definitely.
One day. So what other things do? Oh yeah, the 13th Doctor, the very first of the mid-season breaks for both the 13th and the 9th Doctors. And unlike the 9th Doctor, this one actually feels like it could be tying up a genuine story arc.
Yeah. I mean, the great thing about the 13th Doctor ones, on paper, they've been arranged. They've been travelling throughout time and space, not just stuck at one location.
Yeah, funny, isn't it?
They could have done a series just set in Sheffield, couldn't they? That would have been the equivalent.
Could you imagine? Every single episode has Yaz's mum in it.
Nadia.
I mean, I would be down for at least one story with like Yaz's family.
Yeah, at some point.
But yeah, I know it. Yeah, that was, or the salad man comes back. No, he gets killed off.
Oh, eat my salad, Halloween. I was wondering.
That other guy. What's that other guy that came back in Eve of the Daleks?
Oh, Carl, the crane operator.
Yeah, come on, he might come back.
I am important.
Not really, because we all forgot you when you appeared at the end of Eve of the Daleks. Well, I did at least.
I remembered, because I'm actually, well, I wouldn't say a Chibnall stan, but a Chibnall fan, definitely.
And on that note,
I know we're a rare breed, okay, but we exist. We have rights.
Okay.
But
shall we get back to Big Finish?
Yeah. So I'm not really. I've been keeping up with the story. I'm not really sure where it's going, and all that I got from the cover was robot crab thing. What is that? Mecha Macra.
Oh, but there are no such things as Mecha Macra.
No shit. No, there isn't, is there? Oh
No.
dang.
We'll have to just find out by listening.
I don't actually think it's a macro, but Mecha Macra is such a weird thing to say, isn't it?
Do you know what? Big Finish haven't done a Macra story.
Have they really?
They have not. That is shocking, really. They need a Macra story.
Next year, the next Time War Doctor story, if the Tetraps can do it, we'll get Macra.
I mean, next year, I think I'm right in saying that it's 60 years since the Macra Terror. Next year, I think.
Is it?
Because I think it was 1967. Or was it 66?
No, it's 66. Because
well, then it's this year.
Oh, yeah. Big Finish. Step up your game.
I forget how many stories they churned out in the 60s. They're all quite close to each other, aren't they? Even though it's Patrick Troughton and not William Hartnell. It's
amazing that they'll bring back villains that actually are quite obscure. No one really knows. But the Macra actually came back in the new series.
They did.
I feel like that would be an easier sell than the Mechanoids.
Clearly, no one at Big Finish likes Macra. That's what I'm getting. No Macra lovers. No deadly seaweed from Fury from the Deep lovers either.
Macra really do not exist.
They really don't. Not a Big Finish.
No. I don't even know how we got onto Macra talk from this. Yeah. So 13th Doctor stuff. I've been keeping up with it. Really excited, and I'll let you all know if the mid-season finale is pretty good. Because I remember Violet Hour being pretty good.
Yeah.
So is that it for releases? And I don't really think there's much else to say on that matter.
No, I think that's everything.
Right, so that's all the news and releases for this month. Now time for our regularly scheduled spoiler-free review. And this month was Ethan month.
Childhood threats indeed. You want to know my favourite? Zagreus sits inside your head. Zagreus lives among the dead. Zagreus sees you in your bed.
Don't do that.
Yes, we are listening to the Doomsday Contract by John Lloyd, adapted by Ned Fountain.
Adapted.
A lost story.
Yeah. This is a first for
yeah.
the podcast. Not a first
It
for me,
is.
though. I've listened to a couple of lost stories, notably The Elite, which is elite.
I really want to listen to that one. One of my favourite writers, Barbara Clegg. I believe so, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
It's cheap on the website anyway, even if you don't. Or I'll just send it to you, regardless. But let's talk about the Doomsday Contract then. So do you have any information about the original story that was pitched? Other than the writer?
So the original story pitched by John Lloyd around the time of season 17. So Douglas Adams was the script editor at that point, with Graham Williams as producer. So, and it was in that period, John Lloyd was a good friend of Douglas Adams. So that's the connection why he was approached to write a story. And but they struggled to come up with a story that could be made. I think they didn't just give up on it straight away. They tried rewriting it. I think they even got some writers in later to work on it. But in the end, it was shelved. And then Big Finish, as part of the Lost Story range, approached John Lloyd and said, "Oh, would you be interested in us adapting your story?" And he said, "Oh yeah." I don't think he had time to actually write it himself, but they got Ned Fountain in to adapt it for audio, and that's what we got.
Yeah. So how much of a script do you reckon they actually had then? Not much.
I think there was probably story outlines. Ideas were probably written down. And the great thing, because John Lloyd is still alive, they could actually talk to him, which adds another layer of authenticity to the production.
No, that's amazing. I mean, what they could have done would have just find what script exists of it, read that aloud in narration form, and then just read out the story notes for the other parts if they didn't have a full script.
Well, they wouldn't do that. They would not do that. Not in the Lost Story range.
No, they would never. Surely. That's too easy.
No, this is a nice full cast.
Yes.
Full cast audio with Tom Baker, Lalla Ward, and John Leeson.
I'm kind of surprised, actually, that it never got made and they didn't find a writer who could take on the story, because listening to it, it's just so Douglas Adams. Could you have not got Douglas Adams to maybe pitch some thoughts, some ideas?
I mean, I'm going to just hedge my bets and sort of guess why maybe they sort of gave up eventually. I mean, Douglas Adams only stayed for one series as script editor. And in that series, we've got the script trouble with City of Death, which they then had to write themselves, the script editor and
how long was that?
Producer. City of Death got referenced.
For context, before we started recording, Ethan asked me how long it would be. Do you think until he mentioned it? And yeah.
But no, this is a perfect time to mention it. And then you had the trouble with Sharda. This strike stopped them making that. And before that, we had Tom Baker clashing with the director on Nightmare of Eden, causing him to storm off. And the producer,
as anyone working on Nightmare of Eden would.
I have a soft spot for it, but that's not the time for the story. And then of course Douglas Adams left after one series. So maybe if he stayed on, he would have probably worked maybe harder, and that would have been one of the scripts for series, or like his second series if he did a second one, possibly.
I'm glad he didn't, though, because it's like this magical moment in nerd culture where the Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy man worked on Doctor Who as basically the showrunner. That's insane that even happened. So we should really appreciate it for that.
Yeah, and John Lloyd not only was a friend of Douglas Adams, but helped to write extra material for the Hitchhiker TV series back in the day. So,
Cool.
you know, if anyone's going to write a very Douglas Adams type script,
It
it's
was
going to
gonna be
be
him.
John Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked a bit about the original story, but what about the adaptation? What did you think of the story as a whole, Ethan?
I really liked it. There was lots of elements, wasn't there? Lots of great ideas throughout, and it just kept you hooked throughout for all 4 parts. It was really, really good. Really, there was a lot of twists and turns, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Which we will talk about in the next section. But as for spoiler-free terms, now here's the thing. I think it's a very funny story. Like I didn't quite know what kind of story I was getting into with the Doomsday Contract, and then when I heard the first few scenes on the beach, I was like, okay, this is Douglas Adams territory, I see. And it's very good territory to be in. But the problem is I can't really see it on the same level as something like Paradox of the Daleks, because it doesn't set out to be Paradox of the Daleks, but it's like it does so well at what it intends to do. So that's making my judgment on it a bit skew. If I'm not quite sure, because I wouldn't feel good giving it. Well, I don't know if I'd even give it a 5, but let's say I gave it a 5, wouldn't feel confident about that, given that's what I gave Paradox of the Daleks. You know, they're 2 different stories, and I feel like I don't want to devalue this one by calling it just a comedy or anything like that. But yeah, it's hard to see it as anything other than just a really good time. But sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and it was. The humour definitely is a highlight of the story. It doesn't let down throughout the story.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you rate it?
I would give it a 5. Personally, I would.
5.
I really loved it. Yeah.
Interesting. I just explained why my ratings don't feel quite right, but I'd probably give it a 4. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 4. If we're talking just about how much fun it is, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
4 stories out of 4.
That's for me to know and you to find out. Spoilers!
Oh, I get the feeling you've always wanted to say that.
Try this one. Have you or have you not visited that planet?
Can I plead the 5th on that one?
Doctor, the whole point of you being here in this court is to share your knowledge of Earth. You have to tell us what you know.
Objection. Counsel is badgering the witness.
Sustained.
But, Your Honour, he's my witness. How can I badger him?
Makes no difference to me, Miss Tragacanth. Badgering is badgering. I know badgering when I see it. And it was happening just there. Do you have any other questions for the witness?
Doctor, if I could, being that, given that, no further questions, Your Honour.
So we're now into the spoiler review, and before we talk about anything, I made notes, Ethan. I actually made notes for once. Yes.
Gosh.
And it's funny because I start listening to this one, I think, as I'm walking home from my brother's house, because we just got together to watch The Boys. Very good show, by the way. And I'm walking home, start this episode as I just finished another one. And once I realised what this story is going for, and some of the lines, I'm like, right, this is so funny, I have to note this down. I was literally making these notes as I was walking along. And it's like any other time, I'll never make notes. This is the worst possible time to focus on my phone and start making notes. And this is when I start doing it.
But there is so much to talk about that I think the notes will come in handy.
Yeah. And with a comedy, the best way to review it sometimes is just note down the jokes that made you laugh the most, really. So the first thing I note down is this Chief Justice guy really would vaporize a box of kittens to make a point that he's the bad guy, wouldn't he?
I think he would, yeah, definitely.
It is kind of arch characterization, arguably. You know, he does give the vibe that he would kick a box of kittens, you know, but that's kind of the point. And by the end, with the time travel twist, which we'll get onto when we properly get into this discussion, it kind of makes sense why they made him like that. So yeah, the next one's a quote that I just really liked when Tom Baker was talking about eating breakfast with, which was it was a historical figure, bit of a philosopher.
Trying to remember now. Can't remember off the top of my head. Is it near the beginning of the story?
Is it? Sorry, say again.
Is it near the beginning of the story?
Yeah, it's in part 1, when the Doctor's called to. I think it's when he's first lands in the courtroom.
Yeah, I can't remember that scene off the top of my head.
Oh, I can't remember who he's talking about, but basically it's like this philosopher type person who the Doctor didn't quite agree with on some aspects or whatever. And what he says about it was, but he makes an excellent breakfast, so I just nod and eat the hummus. But the way Tom Baker pronounces hummus as humus, that's what made me laugh.
What is the meaning of this?
The meaning of what?
This! The meaning of this!
Oh, well, what's the meaning of anything? I had breakfast with Epicurus the other day, and he was absolutely insistent that there was no meaning to anything at all. I don't agree, of course, but he does do an excellent breakfast, so I just nod and eat the hummus.
Doctor,
Yes?
I think your drift compensators need looking at too.
You think I should apologize?
I think you should apologise.
Then I apologize, Your Honor, sincerely and with great humility.
You can never predict how Tom Baker is going to approach a scene or a line, can you?
It just dawned on me that this is the first time we're talking about Tom Baker on this podcast, and my take is basically that he's not human. He is actually just an alien.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? It does.
Have you ever read or heard him read out his autobiography?
I haven't, but I would love to.
I've heard
get round to reading it.
I've heard some excerpts from one of the Confused Adipose videos, and he is absolutely bonkers, man. He's not real.
With a tremendous flourish, as if she was opening the curtains of her apartment to admit Count Dracula, she parted the seams of my flies and tried to enter. Aggravated burglary, I'd call it. Like Mike Tyson ignoring the bell, she kept after my member.
I know, he is a great narrator. He is the perfect voice for narration.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be honest, in this episode, I much preferred the humour when it was sort of catered to Doctor Who specifically. I didn't. Just broken a button. Sorry, distracted. I didn't really enjoy it as much when it was basic bureaucracy jokes. You know, they're under attack from the children of Pixis, and the guy behind the desk is making them fill out a form, and it's just like, yeah, technically funny, but like you could tell that in any kind of show, couldn't you? What I did find funny though was the fact that the TARDIS can get arrested because it's technically a living thing, and all of the reasons were, you know, so they made sense. But the one that got me was the TARDIS getting arrested for impersonating a police officer. They're not wrong.
It is a brilliant way to write the TARDIS sort of out the story so they can't escape or anything. And it's just funny.
You can't beat bureaucracy, as the Doctor says so often. Then just a few more notes now. I put as soon as the Doctor was tasked with proving there was intelligent life on Earth, I was like, nah, mate, he's fucked.
So you mean Earth, or do you mean CZ 45678 DC/4ZK?
You cheeky bastard! I can't read that on a screen. I ain't got that up here. Yes, I mean C said all of the things you just said.
456378 DC/4ZK.
Yeah, all right. No need to show off. I can read off a screen too.
Not actually a screen, it's on a bit of paper, but yeah.
Ooh, fancy. You still use a pen. Get with it, Grandad.
But that is another element of humour. That scene where they just repeat that a few times. It's the simple humour, and also where they talk about the age of the Doctor with Romana early on. That was funny.
I don't remember that bit.
It's a very Doctor Who thing, sort of having a sort of laugh with sort of, "Oh, what age am I?" Sort of bit. They definitely did it before on the TV show with Romana and the Doctor, and they've done it so many other times, haven't they?
Yeah.
Brain of Morbius, when he says, "I'm not even 700 and whatever. I'm only mid age."
Yeah. There was another actually in the story that I am listening to at the moment, which is my re-listen for next month's podcast. Won't say that yet. We'll talk about that later. But he was talking to this old woman about his age, and she said, "You're a little young to do these kind of tours." And he was saying, "Well, I'm only I can't remember how old, 700 or 900 or something." He said, "I'm only this amount old." And she says, "Well, even still, that's pretty young," or something like that. I don't know. Good line. But no, when you were talking about that, I don't know why it reminded me of it, but it reminded me of the moment in this story where the Doctor has to swear on a Bible type thing or a religious thing, and he swears on a Winnie the Pooh book, right?
Yeah. Again, that's a very, very Douglas Adams thing, because I know what is it? Is it Peter? I think Peter Rabbit, the Peter Rabbit book. Fourth Doctor reads that in Creature from the Pit. So again, it's very topical for the era.
Yeah, but it just kind of came out of nowhere when I was listening to it, and I love humor that just sort of sneaks up on you and just, surprise is always the biggest element of both horror and comedy. So just when he randomly mentions Winnie the Pooh and then just brilliant scene. I noticed the Genesis reference in the very last part where he just starts paraphrasing his very famous speech, although he means it for the humans instead as a sort of bluff. And I remember that really annoying me. I literally wrote, "Genesis, do I have the right reference? I noticed it as soon as he said the first line, and it bothered me a little. Given that this was an unmade story, it'd be unlikely to actually be used in the story, and I just can't escape Genesis of terror now, can I?"
I think we've mentioned that story way too much in this podcast. We can't.
Gotta let it go. Gotta do a Donna and Rose Noble and just let go.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely elements which probably have been added by Ned Fountain because he adapted it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that they work. They work in the grand scheme of the plot.
It kind of depends who you are, and to be honest, this stuff doesn't usually bother me. It's like, I know people get irate like when they release a new animation or a new edit. The latest example I can think of is with Warriors of the Deep, and they throw in some clips from episodes or references to episodes that wouldn't have actually been made at the time of this one. So for Warriors of the Deep, from what I hear, there are a couple of shots from the War Between during a flashback sequence to show all the times that they fucked over the Sea Devils and Silurians.
I didn't know that. I haven't watched that edit yet.
Oh, sorry for the
I'll have to
spoiler.
look out for that.
Dan the Man's visual effects comparisons are my Bible for when it comes to that sort of stuff.
I've got it on my watch later. To sort of watch it after I've watched it. Yeah,
that's literally the only way I can see it. I did think about asking you if we could sit down together at some point and watch some of those stories, but I didn't have the courage to be like, "Hey man, can I buy a ticket just to come up and see you so that we can watch Warriors of the Deep special edition?"
You could still do that. I mean,
I could, but it's Warriors of the Deep, man.
Yes, but it's special.
If
you ever want to, just say.
Yeah, definitely at some point. Yeah, but your mileage sort of varies from references like that, doesn't it? And usually it doesn't bother me, but for some reason in this moment, it irked me a little bit. I remember.
I guess I can add to the analogy because I watched the updated effects on Fontios, and there's a little addition of the Eye of Harmony from the TV movie is shown when the TARDIS comes back together. At the end of the
How do
story.
you mean? Like,
So in the episode, the TARDIS breaks up, and then at the end it reforms. And as part of the updated effect, they've got some added scenes. A scene of Chameleon, just to remind us Chameleon exists, inside the TARDIS, and also the Eye of Harmony sort of room, that room from the TV movie.
Do you think that was like a CGI shot, or was it taken for the actual movie?
No, it was a CGI shot rather than as you said. But that's what I'm saying. The sort of added reference on an updated effect, sort of, which they wouldn't have done at the time because obviously.
Yeah, I don't mind with that one because that's like the Eye of Harmony does exist, and it's just it's going to be a part of the TARDIS. I don't think there's a problem with that one. Yeah, I think it's more. I don't know. You have to be sort of like a purist to really get bothered by stuff like that, like the Master's music showing up in the War Games, coloured.
Yes, that does bug some people.
Bugs me quite a lot. It's very intrusive. Like, we get it. Yeah. You think he's the Master.
Every scene they added it in with the War Chief.
Because it's a fun fan theory, but like, I don't know. I don't mind that he's trying to canonize it. I just mind how he's going about it. But let's get back on topic.
Yes.
The only other note I've got is holy shit, talk about best use of setup and payoff ever. And I think that should bring us nicely into discussions about the ending and the twists and all that. So
yes. So we've got, obviously they're trying to prove that the Earth has intelligent life. But by doing so, you've gone to a planet which has some protection order, which means you're breaking the law by proving that the planet has life to save it, which is the whole dilemma of the plot, which is really clever. And how they sort it out in the end by basically seeming like they've lost, but then go back in time with the judge, have him prove it, then he gets executed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The law has now come back. But by doing that, they sort of break the loop.
So this ending is just marvelous, absolutely marvelous, because I'm sitting there listening to it, and it's a very fun time travel way of getting you out of the situation, but also at the heart of it, it's about the loophole in the legal system that allows them to do this whole time travel-y stuff. And then this is why I don't mind that Judge Trent is a bit arch in his characterization, because he gets his moment where he sees the light, he goes back, he sees that there is intelligent life on Earth, and he's Scrooged, he's come back to life. And the lines of dialogue when he gets into the courtroom are quite funny, where the past version is something like he says something like, "You there, get me out of this courtroom right now, hold me in contempt," or something like that. And there's a precedent. They have precedent for this. That's so good. But
it is, yeah.
It's the fact that he gives his testimony, right? But then I can't remember the exact reasoning, but because of his testimony, he's then broken some sort of rule, and then he has to be vaporized. And his immediate realization of, oh no, I was in fits when that bit happened.
It's very clever. It's very Douglas Adams, isn't it? That is the whole plot. All the ideas are very, very timely one.
But it's
call it.
Yeah, it's even in the smaller details though, because the Doctor, in the very first part, in his speech about why bureaucracy actually does matter, mentions this guy who ignored a parking ticket and caused the collapse of civilization, right?
Yeah, because he kept getting a reminder to
Yeah.
pay. But that wasn't just a throwaway line, as we
No.
find out. It the main villain, Scorpios. He's the same guy. He's the same guy.
Wow, I'm surprised you remembered that name, Ethan.
Yes. Well, I'm very good. I'm very good with these names.
Yeah, sure. Not
The
written
main-
down or anything.
The very, very memorable main villain. Yeah, but that was a clever throwaway line, like any other Doctor Who story, but then it's the main backstory for the villain.
And that also ties into the Lost Jury as well, which was also expertly set up in a throwaway line and then brought back when they go into this witness protection universe.
Yes.
And
And
that
then
was the
decide
case.
not to do anything.
Yeah, that was the case they were presiding over. They finally get the verdict out there, and he gets arrested. And
sorting out the main villain. It's very clever.
Hold on, that's not even how they sort. I just remembered that's not how they sort him out, is it? Because he escapes into the witness protection universe. But
and then
even more payoff and setup and payoff. The Doctor trapped the children of Pixis in that universe, and they ended up. Karma wreaked its revenge, and they got at him as soon as he came back. Layers, man, layers.
I know. I mean, both of these sort of assassin aliens were cleverly sort of used throughout Children of Pixis, and also the sort of silent assassin, which the Doctor.
The what assassin?
I don't know. I don't know the name of them of that monster. The other assassin. You know.
Yeah. I think the Children of Pixis are really cool. Because how do you prove the existence of something that just completely disappears from your memory when it goes? A bit like that monster on that cover we talked about earlier. It's gone.
Oh, it's forgettable. It doesn't matter. We can move on.
Yeah. Sorry, when we're talking about the Children of what?
Children of Pixis. No,
we can't have been. That was a myth.
No, that's a myth. No, you're right.
Yeah, can't have been talking about those. But
don't be silly, yeah.
I did notice something though about this story that is a bit bad. But if any Doctor was going to cause this, it would have been Tom Baker's Doctor. So in the beginning, Tom Baker makes we talked about it. Tom Baker makes this plea about how bureaucracy is important, right? And then later on, in the end, he gets a parking ticket. I think it is a parking ticket, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he just throws it away. Because apparently he just wanted an excuse to go investigating and get involved.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It is very Fourth Doctor.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the dark implication of that. We know that bureaucracy isn't a laughing matter. Because that story that he gave about the parking ticket in the beginning wasn't a lie. Because the guy in the end got arrested and then killed because of it. So, has the Doctor just carelessly wiped out a civilization?
Well, only if he gets the second one. And a third one. And a fourth one.
If he ignored the first, wouldn't he just ignore the others? The Doctor, I don't know what planet, but he has just condemned them to death. That's what.
Well, I'm just hoping the planet isn't CZ456378DC/4 ZK. I'm really hoping it's not.
You're really getting on my nerves now.
Planet. that little planet called Earth. I hope it's not that one.
No, probably not. But he has. Man, there's going to be a follow-up story that it's going to be called War Criminal of Gallifrey, and you think it's the Master, but nah. It's Tom Baker. It's not even going to be the fourth. Not even going to be the Fourth Doctor. It's just going to be Tom Baker.
Tom Baker, the parking fine escaper.
Be honest though. After a sentence like the Doctor just used the parking ticket to condemn a whole civilization, you can imagine just Tom Baker's smiling face. I think I imagine, I think it's the Invasion of Time at the very end when he opens up a new K9, that smile he gives.
Yes, yeah.
I also imagine that when Romana clarifies, Doctor, he said smile and don't look like a crazy person.
Romana is good in this one as well. You know, that having a companion who is also a Time Lord is a simple idea, but in stories like this is perfect because she can lead while the Doctor is trapped in his pocket universe, which is a funny idea.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought us onto this subject for the episode, because the biggest issue I have with it, and the reason why I couldn't really give it a 5, was because parts 1 and 4 are very funny. They're the ones that are the most court heavy, and while I'm on it, I may play it, but that first clip of the Doctor in the courtroom, absolutely not just baffling the jury or the judge, but his own client who he's working with, is so funny to me. I think it was like, was he asking? Did the judge ask Scorpius? Did he ask him whether he had any more questions? And his response was something like, "I don't know where I'd start, my lord," or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's all really good, but my issue is that the episodes sort of drag a little bit when you get to parts 2 and 3. Not to say that it's bad or you don't learn anything good. It's just that it felt like it really dipped for me, and we'd lost some of that political courtroom sort of stuff that I was really enjoying from the first and the fourth. So I think parts 2 and 3 are a bit weaker, but I did enjoy the Lost Jury. They were quite a colourful bunch.
Yes, with their biscuit machine.
Yes, very good stuff.
And their coffee notes, their coffee making machine, wasn't it?
Yes,
they made themselves.
Yes, it was.
They were a fun addition, voiced by Nicholas Briggs, the main one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because if you need just a spare character, throw him in. But he does do a good job selling the sort of I don't know how you describe it, like contentment he has, and they all have, with sort of just staying there.
They're very relaxed, aren't they? Relaxed attitude about, we'll just stay here.
Because realistically, they're all pieces of shit for not actually doing their job and putting justice forward.
Yeah.
And their reasoning for it was, I think it was something along the lines of, we didn't, because I mean, I think they were being threatened. We all know what Scorpius was like, but also they just didn't want to take that responsibility, and it's like, you bloody cowards. I didn't think a lost story would be making me despair for the social political context of our own time, but let's just say governments and juries failing to act on war crimes is hitting a bit too close to home.
Yes.
Let's get back to the jokes.
Well, I think that's quite most of the ones I made a note of. I mean, the whole proving the Earth has life with a Walkman and a dog it's very late 1970s, 1980s. So that was a nice little addition, putting it in with the time. But also funny.
When I was listening to the first part as well, I just remembered that beach scene. Again, some funny lines about, and this is why you get someone like Romana as a companion, because she doesn't know what Punch and Judy is. She doesn't quite get it. Thinks it's some sort of ritual, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was about that beach scene. It reminded me of the opening of a season 18 episode. You know, the one where K9 goes into the water and absolutely murks himself.
The Leisure Hive film at Brighton. Yeah,
is that where they were? Excuse
I don't think so, but they were always wanting to go on holiday, weren't they? Paris, Brighton. So this was just one of their latest holidays, trying to avoid the Black Guardian and their randomizer.
So, yeah, I think we basically said everything. You said anything you need to say?
No, I really enjoyed it, and I would happily have another story written by John Lloyd. If he ever wants to write one, like fully this time.
Yeah. Other than that little bit in the middle, that sort of the pace kind of came down for me. I think it's a very funny, very good story. Brilliant use of setup and payoff. I can't stress that enough. Like, if every story was like this, it would be such a joyful first listening experience, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of good setup and payoff, we have another story next month that is very much in line with that idea. It's my turn to pick, isn't it? So I'm going to go for Omega. So it is one of the Doctor Who villain stories that was made in, I think, 2003 to tie in with Zagreus, and as a little nod, they had Davros, they had Master, and Fifth Doctor had Omega.
For the 40th anniversary, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, and that's another story that when you re-listen to it, knowing everything that happens and all the twists and turns in the plot, it really is quite an amazing thing to spot all the different changes and all the new context you have. But next week's going to be, or next month even, is going to be a very special episode because, well, I'm not going to say why, but let's just say it's not just going to be two of us.
You're saying the TARDIS is going to get crowded? Oh.
I'm saying it could do. I mean, my room's already pretty crowded. I've got an Ice Warrior chest over there, a Sontaran helmet under my desk. I don't think I can fit much more in my TARDIS, but yeah, we will be joined by someone you may be very familiar with. So look forward to that. As always, thank you for watching us. We hope you did enjoy. If you like this format as well, let us know, and we might do this a bit more often. But I do like the simplicity of the audio version as well. But if you did enjoy, please like, favorite, subscribe, share with everyone you know, comment something nice, or comment calling us wankers. You know, engagement is engagement at the end of the day. Click the notification bell as well, just to make sure you know when we upload. That's a very important step that I always forget. And we hope to see you in the next episode. Any final words, Ethan?
No, I'm looking forward to Omega next time.
Yes, because you haven't listened to it yet, have you?
I haven't. It'll be a completely new experience.
I'm really excited for this. Okay, so thank you all for watching. We'll see you next month.